Hello from Los Angeles, lovely people. We're halfway through the week, but we're going to keep on grinding and shining because that's what we do. I'm Coy Wire. This is CNN 10, and today's our first hashtag Your Word Wednesday of the season. Follow me at Coy Wire on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, and put your unique vocabulary word in the comment section of my most recent post, and we're going to choose one winner for tomorrow's show. On Instagram, my most recent post is about Jesse Billauer, a championship surfer who's overcome incredible adversity in his life to become an inspiration for people all around the world. I'm here in LA with my producer Ryan Bergeron, dad of CNN tenor Sylvie. What's up, Sylvie? We can't wait to share Jesse's story with all of you soon. Now to your news. Late on Monday evening, former President Donald Trump was criminally charged for the fourth time this year in a sweeping indictment from the state of Georgia. Let's break it down. An indictment is another term used when a person is formally accused of committing a crime, and it's one of the first moves made in our legal system before a case can go before a trial. An indictment is different from being convicted of a crime, and it's also not the same as receiving a guilty or not guilty verdict. The former president is now facing 91 charges across 4 indictments. The indictment Monday night included 18 defendants in addition to Trump, and it was the result of a long-running investigation that started in early 2021. Monday's charges concern Trump and others' conduct after the 2020 election and say that Trump's team allegedly misled state officials in Georgia, organized fake electors, harassed an election worker, and breached election equipment in rural Georgia County. Trump has denied all wrongdoing, and his attorneys slammed the indictment, saying that the grand jury presentation was one-sided and called Monday's events shocking and absurd. This all comes at the same time that Trump is running for president in 2024, and he is the current frontrunner for the Republican Party. We'll keep you posted as this story unfolds right here on CNN 10. Up next, we have more information on the devastation in Hawaii after wildfires ravaged the island of Maui. It's still not known what started the fires, but there's been a renewed focus on the power lines that fell on the ground in the burned area and the gust of winds that knocked them over. Now some locals are blaming Hawaiian Electric for not shutting off power to high-risk areas. They say that could have prevented the deadly fire. The fires have also brought tension in Maui between locals and tourism as residents and officials warn tourists against traveling to Maui, especially as many hotels are now needed to host evacuees and first responders. We'll go now to our chief climate correspondent, Bill Weir, who met with dedicated individuals bringing aid and resources to the region.
Me and Brittany will lead the front. We got right behind us. Just stay close.
When Charlie and Brittany Fleck saw pictures of the devastation on Lahaina, the couple from Maui knew they had to do something.
Come, we can give you cash. We got cash.
Money?
Yeah, we need
Thank you.
right now.
I think there's a big ice truck.
We got help on the way.
So they put out a plea on Facebook, and when thousands of dollars began rolling in, they began handing it out.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
we're coming for you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
But that didn't seem like enough, so they organized a caravan and sweet-talked their way past red tape and checkpoints, and when they finally saw what Lahaina looks like for the first time, they wept. But just on the edge of the burn scars, we find an inspiring example of Hawaiian togetherness.
You want a towel for your neck?
Cold towel, are you kidding? That is aloha hospitality.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go, man.
Thank
Right there,
you,
over
brother.
your neck. Keep you nice and cool.
Archie Kalepa is a Hall of Fame surfer and lifeguard with Maui roots that go back 9 generations.
This is your actual house here, or?
Yeah, this is my actual home, and we was really lucky because our neighbors, they were here fighting the fire right at this corner, and the fire department said, "This is our last stand. We're going to hold the line right here."
While there's so much frustration over the official response so far, he says authorities deserve some understanding given the size of the disaster.
This right here is a crime scene. And so what people don't understand is the government has to do due diligence before they start moving in.
So it's a humanitarian response in the middle of a working crime scene.
Exactly.
But at another relief pod on a beach nearby, frustration has turned to anger.
Nobody came for help us. You know what I mean? We rely on people like you guys that get compassion like we do. You know what I mean? That willing to help us because please, we need help. We need help. We need The next step, this is just the first inning. This is the first inning of what we're facing.
Tourism is our number one source of income. I would hope that our representatives, our politicians, our government would ask the people from here, when can we open? They should not be telling us, oh, we want to open 6 months from now. The truth of the matter is, when you look at the overall devastation, we are not going to be ready to allow people to see what we're living through in 6 months.
10-second trivia. Which archipelago is said to have inspired a Shakespearean play and is nicknamed the shipwreck capital of the world? Bermuda, Canary Islands, Seychelles, or Galapagos Islands? Often considered to have inspired Shakespeare's The Tempest, Bermuda is the correct answer here. And up next, we're taking you to meet one doctor who has bred over 100,000 snails that were thought to be extinct. Lesser Bermuda land snails, as the name suggests, come from Bermuda, but a number of environmental factors have caused the snails to be critically endangered. We'll meet one man whose mission is to reintroduce them back to the wild, and we'll join the snails as they take part in a 3,000-mile journey from a zoo in the north of England all the way to Bermuda.
In a small collection of shipping containers just outside Chester Zoo in the UK, Gerardo Garcia is looking after a plethora of newts, frogs, salamanders, and snails. As head of ectotherms, he is in charge of almost 60% of the animals in the entire zoo, but often creatures that have almost zero scientific information known about them. Since 2013, Gerardo has carried out much of his fieldwork in Bermuda with two native species of snail, the greater and lesser Bermudan land snails. Having grown up in the containers at Chester Zoo, the snails are now making the 3,000-mile journey to Bermuda, where wildlife ecologist Mark Outerbridge is waiting for them.
Good to see you again. All right.
Bermuda's biodiversity has its roots, its origins with many other islands. So we're talking about a relatively small land area, and in Bermuda's case, a very small land area in the middle of the ocean. And unfortunately, we have evidence that we have lost species in Bermuda. They are extinct.
Starting with only 60 of those snails, Gerardo's team has since bred and released more than 100,000, one of the biggest wildlife reintroductions in history. Now he is returning to one of the release sites, Trunk Island, to check on their progress and work out if the area will be suitable for releasing their smaller cousins.
Was it this, the first spot?
So this was the first spot we ever released the snails. So we brought a bunch of palm fronds here because we saw how much they were feeding off palm fronds on Ports Island, So far, so good. Let's see if we can find any.
Yeah, I can see one right now.
You see one there?
A careful rummage through the fallen palm leaves reveals a thriving community of the greater Bermudan land snails and indicates a perfect location to release the lesser snails.
Many people would ask, why to bother about snails? And the question is why we bother about any other species that we have on the planet. Every single one, animal and plants, every single one has a role to play. We don't know, we may don't understand, we may underestimate the role, but everybody has a very important ecological role.
And for today's story, getting a 10 out of 10, Thanksgiving only comes once a year, but soon roller coaster enthusiasts may be able to get a dose of Thanksgiving gravy whenever they want. That's right, check out the plans for this Thanksgiving-themed roller coaster at the Holiday World Amusement Park in Indiana. The plans come complete with a jar of cranberry sauce. The ride, called Good Gravy, is set to open during the park's 2024 season. And now on to my favorite part of the day. I want to give a special shout out to James Wood High School in Winchester, Virginia. Rise up. Looking forward to your submissions for Your Word Wednesday. So bring it, baby. I'm Coy Wire, and we are CNN 10.